Okay, so today we have a list. This is my top 20 songs that I reacted to in 2021. So somebody actually suggested this, and I was actually thinking about doing it to begin with. Because, I don't know, I just like doing lists like this every now and then. And yeah, so we're gonna do this, and my top 20 songs. I reacted to, I think, close to 200 songs over the year. So my top 20 was hard to come up with, but here we are. I had to squeeze some songs in here and, squeeze some others out, which kind of sucked. But anyway, let's get into this. Starting with number 20. I don't want to be here all day. Anyway, starting with number 20. Morrissey in America Is Not the World. So obviously, I listened to a lot of Morrissey songs, and this one really just stood out to me. Love his lyricism here. He cheeky. He's at his cheeky best here. Excuse me. And he has lines. I don't know why I'm burping all of a sudden. He has his lines like, you can shove your hamburger, talking about your head's too big, your belly's too big. And he's just, he's on top here with his cheeky lyricism, and it just makes me laugh. And it's quintessential Morrissey. So I had to put him in here. So moving on, number 19, we have Velvet Underground and Venus and Furs. Just a hypnotic tune, and I mean, the guitar work is just, again, it's kind of creepy. It's, and Lou Reed's voice is it's dark. But it's also, kind of low key. He just kind of it's not really even singing. He's just kind of talking to you. And it's one of my favorite voices in rock. And yeah, I just really love it. And obviously, the lyricism here is a bit taboo, especially for the time. Talking about, some BDSM things, and just, so much heaviness to it, and just a beautiful song, I thought, and keeps you on your toes, really. And yeah, really enjoyed it very much. And anyway, I mean, the Velvet Underground, just, such a great band. Finally got their dues soon enough, too. Anyway, number 18, Suede, Beautiful Ones. So Suede was a band that was, recommended quite a bit. And I mean, Brett Anderson's vocals, I mean, find somebody as energetic and as loud as Brett Anderson. I mean, good Lord. His voice, you can really just lift you up. Just, again, he has that booming voice, and it's just like, Jesus, he's so energetic. He's so loud, and it's just, I don't know, I really enjoy it. And Beautiful Ones, really, I think it is one of their, most known songs, but for good reason. It gets stuck in your head. Just I mean, yeah, it really always just comes down to Brett for me, and really just enjoy this one. Gets stuck in your head again with that chorus. And yeah, so anyway, 17, Guns N' Roses, Civil War. So this one, obviously, Guns N' Roses. I don't think people have to be told who Guns N' Roses is, or are, whatever it is. But yeah, and that chorus gets, it repeats in my head, the whole "I don't need your civil war." It's just, I mean, Axl Rose delivering those vocals only, the way he can. Slash giving some guitar solos again. Sometimes, with guitarists, it can be kind of cocky kind of a sound. It can be like, I think they call it like cock rock or whatever. But with Slash, I mean, I don't know, I always just love his sound. I always just find him entertaining, and here is none, not different at all. It's pretty much almost 8 minutes of bliss, and just really enjoy the song altogether. And again, so catchy. That's what it really comes down for me. And a lot of these songs, it's like, does it get stuck in your head? And the answer for Civil War is yes. And of course, a very meaningful song, talking about the whole Civil War thing. And yeah, very meaningful, very good. So number 16, we have Lou Reed, going back with Lou Reed here, not with the Velvet Underground, but just solo. And this is Take a Walk on the Wild Side. So obviously, calming voice here. Just, so nonchalant. His voice, again, it's just he's talking to you, basically. And, I know he was like a big New Yorker. He would always talk about, the taboo subjects. People didn't want you to talk about what happened, I was going to say in the slums or whatever, but like, I guess the dirtier parts of town to some people. And, talking about, some taboo things, talking about male prostitution, transgendered people, oral sex, all this stuff. And, people were just like, you don't want to know about that. But, Lou Reed was just saying, well, here it all is. Here it is in a song. And, yeah, it just, I mean, I love how much he wanted, to get people to care about, those people, all the, those subjects and such. And I mean, David Bowie, Mick Ronson, produced this. I think they produced the album, But yeah, it's just, I mean, when you're having them as producers, and I mean, I know Lou Reed really looked up to Bowie, so I mean, it was just a great tune, and really eye-opening, especially for people who probably didn't know what's going on in New York, who, you know, had their eyes, you know, shut or whatever. So yeah, number 15 now, we have Elliott Smith with Angela's. And Elliott Smith, I mean, just a haunting voice, so soft, gentle voice. I mean, obviously the song too, I mean, you're talking about, you know, with how kind of Elliott Smith, how he passed, and, you know, I don't know, it just puts an extra layer of darkness on, you know, his songs. So yeah, talking about, you know, Angeles here, obviously talking about Los Angeles. He, you know, was just signing to a big deal, and, you know, talking about, you know, his internal struggles basically with, you know, moving up, you know, to being, you know, bigger, whatever. And it just, you know, that whole, you know, when he's saying Angela's, it's just, I don't know, there's so much, you know, feeling, I guess, in his voice. It just, like, he radiates emotion, and just like, yeah, his voice just does something to you. And had to put him in here. And again, Elliott Smith, I heard about his story before I ever listened to him, and his voice is just so good. And obviously lost him too soon. Anyway, number 14, we have the Cramps and I Can't Hardly Stand It, which was a cover from Charlie Feathers, you know, original version. And I love the original version, and I love the Cramps' version. I mean, apparently they invented a thing called psychobilly, which, you know, is rockabilly kind of punk stuff. And I mean, it just sounds like the lead singer, Lux Interior, which again, Lux Interior, what a stage name. But it just sounds like he's being shaken, like he's in a freaking paint can shaker machine thing. It's just like, and all these hiccups. I love, you know, I love rockabilly. You know, I think of guys like Buddy Holly, again, Charlie Feathers. You know, just, you know, I love the hiccups. I love the emotion, and just, you know, like, just, I don't know, the weirdness that, I don't know if it's weirdness, that's kind of mean to say, I guess, whatever. But just, you know, the vocal ability here is just so different, and I just always loved that sound, you know, rockabilly. And the Cramps are just, you know, on another level here. It's just nuts. So anyway, yeah, Lux Interior, rest in peace to Lux Interior too. He was nuts on vocals. Anyway, so then we have number 13, The Jam. That's Entertainment. So, I mean, so goddamn catchy. I mean, Paul Weller's voice, he wrote the song as well, you know, talking about, you know, British working class, you know, basically what he sees, you know, talking about, you know, sirens, and basically just, again, you know, what goes on in a day. I have to say, sorry for the sniffling. I am still kind of sick, but yeah, had to do this video. Anyway, Bruce Foxton, also I have to say, I forget if it's if it's in this song or what, but you know, his bass, he really stuck out to me. I think I said before, you know, I never heard of Bruce Foxton, you know, when you talk about bassists, but for me, his sound was just, you know, unmissable. I think that's a word. And just so good. And again, the whole, you know, the chorus, you know, that's entertainment, just gets in your head. And his voice is so, like, kind of dark. It has like a heavy voice, like it's a grumble. I think grumble is a word, but it just sounds kind of, yeah, he sounds like kind of old. He sounds older than he is, or whatever. It's just, I don't know, I love it so much. So yeah, The Jam. And The Jam was another band that I listened to this year, that people requested, and I was like, geez, who are these guys, you know? And but I did hear Paul Weller before The Jam, actually, because I do know a lot of people were inspired by him. So anyway, yeah, The Jam, number 13 there. Number 12, we have the Stone Roses, Love Spreads. So the Stone Roses, another band that's been requested so much, and I mean, obviously Ian Brown's vocals, they always just make me happy. Ian Brown, just that gentle voice he has, honestly, it just, I don't know what else to say. His voice is so soft and so sweet. It just makes me happy, really. And John Squire, who wrote the song, you know, his guitar work, I mean, it's just, I forget if he was guitarist or the bassist. I'm freaking blanking now, whatever. But either way, John Squire, he was a great writer. And I mean, just like I said, the guitar was unbelievable. And obviously, I have to also say, the song was kind of controversial because it kind of it used Jesus as a black woman. So obviously, John Squire, his mind was, you know, on top that day. And yes, John Squire is the guitarist. I had to look it up. I don't know why I forgot. Anyway, yeah, his guitar work is unbelievable. John Squire is just nuts, and I love the song. Gets stuck in your head. But yeah, again, the guitar work is what really stands out to me. So number 11, we have the Stone Roses again. This was not intentional, but this is how it went down. We have the Stone Roses, Waterfall. So I went back and forth with this one. It was a tight race, but Waterfall ended up being ahead because the chorus got in my head a lot more often. Just the whole, she's a waterfall. It's just, and again, the nature imagery, waterfalls, are usually pretty beautiful. They're really pretty. And I mean, it's just, again, his voice is so good. For Ian Brown for the chorus, talking about, I guess, a girl, whatever, she's a waterfall. And that chorus though is just, I mean, it's just on another level, and just makes me happy. Again, that's that's what you should like in a song, really. So yeah, I had to put that there. Number 11 with the Stone Roses again, a waterfall. Then we have number 10. This is Nick Drake and Pink Moon. Just over 2 minutes of a song, but good Lord, that voice, so heavy, so haunting again, where he kind of reminds me of Elliott Smith, or, should say Elliott Smith reminds me of Nick Drake, because Elliott Smith came after. But, yeah, I mean, Nick Drake, again, it's just, that weird demise, did he commit suicide? Or I don't like saying commit suicide because it sounds like you're committing a crime. Did he die by suicide, or did he not? Was it an intentional overdose or not? Either way, it just makes his music that much more haunting. His voice, again, it's semi coherent, and it's just like, the whole ping 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 ping. It's just I don't know, the way he delivers the lines. And this was the only song on the album Pink Moon that had a piano line in it. All the other songs were just him and his guitar, and so this was kind of different than the other ones. And again, when you look at a photo of Nick Drake, I don't picture that voice to come out of him, that booming kind of dark, heavy voice. I do know that he was kind of a tall guy or whatever, so maybe you think like, oh, he must have a deeper voice, maybe, sometimes that's how it works. But yeah, it's just like, I don't know, just I don't picture that voice to come out of him, but it did. And finally he got his due. People started listening to his songs after he passed. But yeah, what a song. What just, memorable. Anyway, number 9, The Cure, 6 Different Ways. So this, again, The Cure was a band that, I think I've been listening to them since, I want to say like 2019, maybe 2020. But yeah, I love The Cure. I love Robert Smith's vocals so much. He's one of my favorite vocalists of all time. With how this, it's a long intro into the song, but it's not boring at all. It doesn't make me think like, oh, come on, where's Robert? But yeah, I really enjoy the intro. And honestly, it reminds me of, I don't know if it's a theme song or what it is. It opens up though, the movie, Halloween Town, which, is an older kids movie now. But yeah, just how that opens up, it's the same kind of instrumentation to me, and it just gives me kind of nostalgia. And so I just really enjoy that. And again, makes me think of Halloween, and I guess, The Cure with their kind of gothic look and such. I mean, I don't know if they're always kind of going for that Halloween kind of vibe, but that's what I got from this one, and I loved it very much. And again, Robert Smith, I mean, his vocals just sound fun here. It's just, I love it so much. And yeah, 6 Different Ways. Friggin', there's 6 different ways that's a really good song. So number 8, we have Pulp and Disco 2000. Yes, we do. This was, I have to say off the top, great chorus. I mean, the whole thing, let's all meet up in the year 2000. It got stuck in your head again. That's what it's all about. Does it get stuck in your head? Yeah, it does. It goes in the list. And again, Jarvis Cocker, he's at his whispery best here. I love ASMR, and I love listening to Jarvis Cocker, whisper in my ears. Sounds kind of weird, but it's true. And he friggin' Lord, he talks about his childhood memories here, talking about Deborah, just how, again, how he pronounces words and names and everything. And apparently it was, a true story who he liked when he was a child or whatever, but he never impressed or whatever. So yeah, again, just at his whispery best here, Pulp, Disco 2000. Pulp was another band that a lot of people requested this year, and I really enjoyed them. And yeah, Jarvis was a great find for a vocalist. So yeah, number 7, The Cure again, and we have Fire and Cairo. Now, I don't know if the song, is a big song or not for The Cure, but when I listened to it, it just stayed in my head, and so catchy for me. Again, Robert Smith's vocals are just, sublime for me. Talking about fantasy here, talking about how mirage fades away and all this stuff, and just so meaningful. And I mean, from their debut album here, Three Imaginary Boys. I love the title as well, and I love the album cover of for it too. The pink background, then you have a lamp and a vacuum and a mini fridge, which is just so kind of random. But again, and obviously it had their big song, "Boys Don't Cry" on it. But Fire, and I didn't listen to Boys Don't Cry this year, so that's not on the list. But Fire in Cairo, just I don't know, it's so catchy to me, and I love how how he spells it out. FIREINCAIRO. It's just, I don't know, I love it all, and I always come back to it. And it's just another great Robert Smith, and he's so young here. He sounds so young, and I love it so much. Anyway, because he is really young. I think he was like 19 or something when they recorded that. Anyway. Number 6, Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, Red Right Hand. So this song, I came to find out, or was that right? Yeah, I don't know. I found out anyway. It was the theme song for Peaky Blinders, which is a pretty famous show. I know my sister watches it, and I was listening to that song once or whatever, and she said, oh, that's the thing for Peaky Blinders, and I was just like, oh, you know that song? So yeah, it's just like I never knew it, yeah, it's just, I mean, Nick Cave. Just so cunning, a commanding voice. The instrumentation is just, it's dark again. It belongs in a detective kind of show, and talking about kind of a shadowy figure with his right hand is just, I mean, it's just sharp as a knife. Everything about it, vocally as well, obviously, and that gothic rock sound, and Nick Cave was the first song I listened to by Nick Cave, in the Bad Seeds, but. Just, I mean, again, it was just so good. And then come to find out, I think it was in Dumb and Dumber as well, but I don't remember it at all. And yeah, it's just a great sound. Loved it a lot. Just stays in my head. And I downloaded it and all that crap, just like much of the other songs here. But yeah, just I love the sound, and it's just so it's so kind of unsettling again, and that's what I really like in a song, apparently. Anyway, so then yeah. Going on to number 5, we have Pulp once more and Common People. Now, of course, this is Pulp's signature song, but again, for good freaking reason, because it's just, again, Jarvis is at his whispery best, I have to say again, and, talking about common people, I mean, it's so relatable for people who, maybe aren't rich, obviously, talking about the song here with the, talking about glamour, and being poor, basically. And, I looked at some lyrics here, when he talks about when they're in the supermarket and he's, says like, now pretend you have no money. And then says, oh, you're funny or whatever. And then when he says, I can't see anyone else smiling here, and just how he delivers the lines, like so brutally honest with, the girl, just like, he doesn't care. He's just like, no, this is how it is. You have money. We don't. And also just to talk about the video, my reaction to the song, I was looking to make the list, that video has almost 20,000 views, I think it was, and I didn't even realize that. I never really look at my views because it kind of gives me anxiety, to be honest with you. Yeah, so I was just like, Jesus, well, I hope people are happy with that, because, yeah, that song turned out to be, one of my favorite songs of the year, obviously. And, yeah, so I was just like, oh, I'm glad that video, is doing well, my most viewed video. Good Lord. So yeah, Pulp, Common People, number 5. Again, Jarvis Cocker. I mean, I wish I found him sooner, or just Pulp sooner, whatever, but here we are now. So number 4, we have Crass, Banned from the Roxy. I'd never really, talked for so long at once, but here we are. I feel like I'm out of breath. So yeah, Crass, Banned from the Roxy, number 4. Steve Ignorant, I mean, just one of the great punk vocalists. I mean, he just does not give a crap. And top notch. Anarchy is kind of the theme here, I guess. Come to find out, that they're kind of, lean towards more anarchy than, capitalism, obviously. So, talking about, and I like the line here when he says, I ain't quite ready with my gun, but I've got me song. And, like how he says me song. But and how he just talks about, he's not going to like shoot somebody or whatever, kill somebody with a gun, but he's got a song, he'll write about it. I just love it a lot. And how it just starts off, Banned from the Roxy. Okay. So it's just like he's writing a letter or something, or it's like, he's writing a story. And then I never much, or I didn't care for playing there anyway. It's just like he has so much swagger, and he just does not, like I said, he doesn't give a shit at all. Just his, just how he sings, and the drum. It's all so raw, the musically, and I just love it so much. Crass is one of my favorite punk bands now. So yeah, I really love that one. Anyway, number 3, getting down to it here, we have Kiss and Shock Me. Might shock you that that's number 3, but it doesn't shock me because this song, I mean, I love it so much. Ace Frehley, probably my favorite member of Kiss. A great solo in there. Obviously, it's, well, not obviously if you don't know, but it was like based on a true story where he was almost electrocuted on stage, and yeah, it's just so obviously it shocked me. I like how the song came out of it, and it was his lead vocal debut. So everything about it is just like, I don't know, so cool. It's all cool stuff, and I just love shock me, make me feel better. It's just like, I don't know, it's so catchy. And again, the guitar solo, love that guitar solo, if I can talk right. And yeah, Ace Frehley, I mean, if greatest laugh of all time in rock history, have to say that as well. And yeah, I don't know, when I see old clips of Ace Frehley, it just makes me happy. So anyway, number 2, we have The Verve and Sonnet. So obviously, this is kind of the same instrumental as The Drugs Don't Work, which I also really love. So when I heard that, when I heard Sonnet for the first time, I was like, sounds the same as that, and it does, because it's the same kind of layout. And but either way, I'm glad they used it again, because that The Drugs Don't Work instrumental is very good. They could use it for another one, and they did. So yeah, the string section is just beautiful. Electric guitars all over the place, good lord. And again, Richard Ashcroft, what a songwriter. I feel like he's kind of underrated with the songs he can write. And he's very personal and sometimes cryptic as well. But I mean, he's just, I don't know, he's a genius, really. I have to say, Richard Ashcroft is a genius. Liam Gallagher would agree with you, with me, whatever. And again, themes of love here. And I mean, yeah, just, I love that chorus or whatever, his vocal, he's so good vocally, he's so good at songwriting. What can't he do? I don't know. So yeah, just really enjoy the song so much. It had to be number 2. I feel like I have to burp or whatever coming up. But anyway, had to be number 2, and there it is. So there we go. But number 1, this was, there's no doubt for my number 1. Going into this, I was like, this isn't my number 1 easily. The other ones are going to be harder to make out. But anyway, XTC, Complicated Game. Yes, you heard it right here, people. This is XTC, Complicated Game, one of the heaviest songs ever, I'd have to say. I mean, how it starts off so quietly, Colin Moulding. I'm pretty sure it was on vocals. I know Andy Partridge shared vocals as well, but I think Colin did this one, if I remember correctly. And yeah, how he just starts off so quietly, I ask myself, should I put my finger to the left or whatever? And then, how it just roars, at the end, obviously, too, with how the song ends, too. It's just one of the weird, like, I would say it's an odd song. And, just so loud at the end, then, too. And, the guitars are just nuts near the end. It's the crescendo of the album. It's the last track of the album, Drums and Wires, which, again, Drums and Wires. Such a simplistic kind of name for an album, but I mean, just everything about the song, great ending. And Andy Partridge, actually, who wrote the song, said, he said it's a song about you get born and it doesn't matter, and then you die. It's one of those songs. So I mean, yeah, kind of a a dark look at life, and it's also, he said, about futility and how strong and important it is. And just, I mean, just I love the lyrics, when he says, I should have put my finger to the left, and it was just like, crap. Just lines. I had to look at the lyrics here just because, again, to give this song its due. But, just talking about, a little boy asked me, should he put his vote upon the left? Little boy asked me, should he put his vote upon the right? I said, it doesn't really matter where you put your vote. Then he talks about, when he talks about God asked me where he ought to put his world, on the left or on the right. And then, I said, God, it doesn't really matter where you put your world. Someone will come along and move it. And it's always just the same. It's just a complicated. And then obviously how it ends, guided. And so it's just going nuts. And I'm just like, what? Like when I listened to it, I was like, what the frig am I hearing? and it's just it came back, and I was just like, I've come back to that song so many times. And I remember I got a comment. Somebody said, it's a weird place to start with XTC, but whether it's a weird place or not, I'm glad I started there, because it's just so heavy, and it's just so out there, so intense, and I'm just like, yeah, my surefire number one song that I listened to this year, number one song that I found this year, everything. And it ended up being one of my most listened to songs of the year, according to YouTube Music. So, which is very true, because yeah, that song was nuts, and can't get enough of it. And again, Colin Moulding on vocals, Jesus Christ, what a, just crazy. So anyway, yeah, that's my list, top 20 right there. Had to do this one, was looking forward to doing this. And again, thanks you for the suggestion, because it's fun to do these. And again, this is my top 20. You can look through all my songs of over the year if you want to disagree or whatever. But but this is what it was. And yeah, again, really enjoyed all these songs. It's hard to get down to a top 20, I listened to like almost 200 songs during the year, reacted to whatever. But here we were. So yeah, just have to say, thanks for the support over the year. Thanks for, the views and the subscriptions and the likes and the comments. Again, usually a lot of the comments are always just very nice. I rarely see really a bad comment, unless I just don't get the notification. But knock on wood that continues. Because yeah, I really appreciate, I guess you would say, the community that I have. I feel weird saying that, just with, a lot of other people do say that, my community, but my YouTube community, whatever, they seem to be very nice, and you guys are just, very nice and supportive and all that stuff, and I really appreciate that. So yeah, it was a great year for my YouTube, and again, really appreciate all the support. So yeah, thanks for watching this, and thanks for watching through the year. So yeah, yeah, thanks for watching again. I'll talk to you guys again soon. Don't know how to end this. I should say as well, on the day that I record this, Betty White passed away December 31st, 2021, 18 days before her 100th birthday. What the frick is going on? As a fan, a big fan of the Golden Girls, I love Betty White, and sucks that she's gone. And I just have to say, I had to end off this video with that. That rest in peace of Betty White. It sucked. Again, so close to 100. Like, she had a celebration coming and everything. Like, what the frig? But, I mean, she was 99 again, but I mean, that still wasn't long enough for Betty White. Anyway, thanks for watching again. I'll talk to you guys again soon.